Good evening. I'm Chris Kims. Today we will finish our discussion on how to spot a psychopath and how to deal with them. First, we will look at 20 symptoms of a psychopath. Pay close attention and see if you know someone like this. 1. Glib and superficial charm, the tendency to be smooth, engaging, charming, slick, and verbally facile. Psychopathic charm is not in the least shy, self-conscious, or afraid to say anything. A psychopath never gets tongue-tied. They have freed themselves from the social conventions about taking turns in talking. 2. Grandiose self-worth, a grossly inflated view of one's abilities and self-worth, self-assured, opinionated, cocky, a braggart. Psychopaths are arrogant people who believe they are superior human beings. 3. Need for stimulation or proneness to boredom, an excessive need for novel, thrilling, and exciting stimulation. Taking chances and doing things that are risky. Psychopaths often have a low self-discipline in carrying tasks through to completion because they get bored easily. They fail to work at the same job for any length of time, or to finish tasks that they consider dull or routine. 4. Pathological lying, can be moderate or high. In moderate form, they will be shrewd, crafty, cunning, sly, and clever. In extreme form, they will be deceptive, deceitful, underhanded, unscrupulous, manipulative, and dishonest. They may even try to Photoshop images of people to try and back up their lies. 5. Conning and manipulativeness, the use of deceit and deception to cheat, con, or defraud others for personal gain. Distinguished from item number 4 in the degree to which exploitation and callous ruthlessness is present, as reflected in a lack of concern for the feelings and suffering of one's victims. 6. Lack of remorse or guilt, a lack of feelings or concern for the losses, pain, and suffering of victims. A tendency to be unconcerned, dispassionate, cold-hearted, and unempathic. This item is usually demonstrated by a disdain for one's victims. 7. Shallow affect, emotional poverty or a limited range or depth of feelings. Interpersonal coldness in spite of signs of open gregariousness. 8. Callousness and lack of empathy, a lack of feelings toward people in general. Cold, contemptuous, inconsiderate, and tactless. 9. Parasitic lifestyle, and intentional, manipulative, selfish, and exploitative financial dependence on others as reflected in the lack of motivation, low self-discipline, and inability to begin or complete responsibilities. 10. Poor behavioral controls, expressions of irritability, annoyance, impatience, threats, aggression, and verbal abuse. Inadequate control of anger and temper. Acting hastily. 11. Promiscuous sexual behavior, a variety of brief, superficial relations, numerous affairs, and an indiscriminate selection of sexual partners. The maintenance of several relationships at the same time. A history of attempts to sexually coerce others into sexual activity or taking great pride at discussing sexual exploits or conquests. 12. Early behavior problems, a variety of behaviors prior to age 13, including lying, theft, cheating, vandalism, bullying, sexual activity, fire setting, glue sniffing, alcohol use, and running away from home. 13. Lack of realistic, long-term goals, and inability or persistent failure to develop and execute long-term plans and goals. A nomadic existence, aimless, lacking direction in life. 14. Impulsivity, the occurrence of behaviors that are unpremeditated and lack reflection or planning. Inability to resist temptation, frustrations, and urges. A lack of deliberation without considering the consequences. Foolhardy, rash, unpredictable, erratic, and reckless. 15. Irresponsibility, repeated failure to fulfill or honor obligations and commitments, such as not paying bills, defaulting on loans, performing sloppy work, being absent or late to work, failing to honor contractual agreements. 16. Failure to accept responsibility for own actions, a failure to accept responsibility for one's actions reflected in low conscientiousness, an absence of dutifulness, antagonistic manipulation, denial of responsibility, and an effort to manipulate others through this denial. 17. Many short-term relationships, a lack of commitment to a long-term relationship reflected in inconsistent, undependable, and unreliable commitments in life, including marital. 18. Juvenile delinquency, behavior problems between the ages of 13-18. Mostly behaviors that are crimes or clearly involve aspects of antagonism, exploitation, aggression, manipulation, or a callous, ruthless tough-mindedness. 19. Revocation of condition release, a revocation of probation or other conditional release due to technical violations, such as carelessness, low deliberation, or failing to appear. 20. Criminal versatility, a diversity of types of criminal offenses, regardless if the person has been arrested or convicted for them. Taking great pride at getting away with crimes. Do you know someone who exhibits these traits? If so, what can you do about it? The first thing you could try is
get up.
If that doesn't work, I would suggest you get in your car and drive like a bat out of hell. If you don't have a car, just do this. In all seriousness, get away, and stay away. Don't interact with them. This is what they want you to do. This is all part of their sick world in which they live. What do you do if you encounter the psychopath on the internet? In today's day and age, the internet has become the psychopath's playground. You handle it the same way you would in real life. Just stay away. Most websites allow you to block people. Take advantage of this and use it. Human curiosity may make you want to see what the sick son of a bitch is up to, but don't. Just stay away. If they begin to harass you, and they probably will, report them to administrators. If enough complaints are received, you will soon rid yourself of the pesky psychopath. This has been Chris Kim's reporting. Have a good day.
What am I doing? Oh, I'm throwing fucking chocolate pennies at the local wildlife and an extra large bacon hat.